For the best TV viewing experience, witness the coziest maroons, the most vibrant and brightest moons, the eeriest and darkest tombs, and radiant and vivid hues in any type of room with the Neo QLED and OLED TVs by Samsung. We're supposed to say Samsung, but that didn't rhyme, so you're welcome. Samsung, more wow than ever.
So where are you at this evening?
Austin, Texas.
Beautiful Austin. How is it out there right now?
Oh, it's great. It's been actually a little bit, I mean, this time of year, I always go straight to the weather because it dictates how I'm doing. And it is not yet oppressively hot. That's the best I can say for it.
So I'm in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. You're a bit familiar with it. If anybody's informed you of that fact. So this summer right now, and it already feels like summer, even though we're talking in late spring, it's, you know how it is here, you're familiar with this. It'll rain and then the sun comes out. It's incredibly intense. And then it rains again. We had like 3 waves today, and it's just like the rainforest.
Yeah. It's mushy. The air is mushy.
Yeah. Oh, yuck. How long have you been in Austin now?
10, 11 years since 2010-ish.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good music community. It sounds awesome there.
It's fantastic. Yeah, I love it here. I really do.
Excellent. So your latest project is you're in a power trio. These are amazing women that you're working with. Nobody's Girl. How did that all come about?
Well, I've been friends with Grace Pettis and Betty Sue for over 10 years. We all met at different times. I met them both at the Kerrville Folk Festival. They already knew each other back in 2008 when I first went to the Kerrville Folk Festival. And we all stayed friends and played shows together, you know, in different configurations, just one-on-one over the years. I toured with Betty Sue once. I talked about touring with Grace. And then in late 2017, late 2017, I just released a record and was looking to do something a little different for my next tour. And I reached out to Grace to see if she'd like to go out on the road together with another singer-songwriter and to sort of do just a one-time 3-week package tour thing. And we thought, you know, that our agents could all book it and it would be really exciting and fun. And they were both completely on board, really enthusiastic about it. Grace and I decided to, I'm getting ahead of myself. Grace and I decided to ask Betty Sue. And she was like, well, she's, you know, our top choice would be Betty Sue. She probably won't say yes, but let's go ahead and ask. So we asked, and surprisingly, she said yes. So she's just busy and in demand as a side player and selective about what gigs she takes. So we were thrilled that she agreed to join us. So we got together and we recorded a video together, and some people saw the video and invited us to their studio to do a little writing retreat if we wanted to try writing together. They had like an artist suite attached to their studio. It was a little bit outside of town. And so we went for a little getaway and stayed there probably, 18 hours, you know, not long. But we wrote 3 songs, and the next morning we played those songs for the people who own the studio, and they said, "That's really good. Would you guys like a record deal, like as a band?" And we were like, "Sure." I mean, we had literally not played a show together. We hadn't done anything together. We weren't a band, but we figured can't hurt, you know, might be fun. So we started writing together more. We got an EP together. By the time we went out on that tour in the spring of 2018, we had an EP together as a band. And then we just started playing shows and doing the best we could.
Sounds so great together. Is that EP Waterline? Is that what you all put together? That's incredible stuff there. The songs are just so deep and so rich, and your harmonies are really amazing. How do you work those harmonies out? I was just listening to a track today, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is just perfect. What'll he do? It's just like, well, what'll I do?
Sometimes the harmonies are part of the songwriting process, you know, like, because as you're writing a song, you sing it over and over and over again, kind of obsessively, especially if there's like a good part, like a chorus that feels really good to sing and you're trying to work out the rest. So for us as a group, if one of us is, you know, singing the chorus, the others will be like fooling around trying harmonies. So often by the time we get done writing the song, we've already worked out a bunch of harmonies just by the repetition that's inherent in the writing process. And sometimes we know, like the song Tiger on our new record, we knew that we wanted it to have some really tense, like dissonant harmonies. And we didn't know exactly what they were going to be, but once we were in the studio, we worked it out. I think that the verse harmonies, we went in knowing exactly what they were going to be. And kind of everything in between. So, it's a combination of instinct, like, this is what feels right. Let's try this. And then also sort of a more intellectual approach, like, well, we had a lot of close three parts on the last song, so let's try more of a call and response. Or, lyrically, I think that this verse might be better supported by a pad of oohs rather than a direct vocal harmony. Things like that. It's sort of a combination of all those things.
And you and Grace have these very distinct solo careers. What's the writing process like when you're trying to put something like this together, like an EP like this?
We made a decision early on that all of our songs that we released as Nobody's Girl would be songs that we write as a trio, all three of us together, rather than like, oh, well, here's this leftover Rebecca Loebe song that I didn't put on a record, which is one approach we could have taken, and it would have been a lot quicker and a lot easier. But we wanted the record, if we're going to go to the hassle of making a record together as a group, we wanted it to have its own flavor. And the songs we write when we're together as a group really are different than what any of us write individually. We always joke that the songs are triple distilled because we each have to approve of every line. And yet we're reaching consensus between three people on every line on 12 songs. Whew, not easy.
Song Waterline is really cool. I love that melody.
Thank you.
It sounds so great on that. It's just really
Thank you.
Great mood.
It's funny. That song started with a chorus that I had written on like Christmas Day. And I took it to them, and it had nothing to do with Christmas, but I just had this song idea. Took it to them, and we wrote some verses that were deeply personal and felt really great. And once we had those verses done, we were like, oh, that chorus isn't as good as these verses anymore. So we scrapped the original chorus and rewrote it. And we finished it at the studio right before we recorded it. It came together fast. It was like, oh no, we're going to have to record this song now. We don't like this chorus. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And we, each of us had tried on our own writing little things and came in with suggestions, but none of those worked. And then we just started messing around, and it like clicked together. Whew, it was wild. It was really cool.
Yeah, what a great project. And you guys during the pandemic have really been keeping busy as much as you can.
Yeah, we've all been really busy remotely from home. We all, we haven't actually been together in over a year now. The three of us haven't seen each other because we've all been, working from home. And as soon as Betty Sue was vaccinated and safe, she went up to Vermont because that's where her fiance lives. So we haven't seen her. And Grace is off touring for her solo record. And so we're getting together in late July to start practicing. And we're getting together on Zoom to do some like meetings and rehearsals and like planning our live show. And we're all practicing on our own, but we'll get together for some intensive rehearsal time before the tour starts in late July.
Nice. How long is the tour going to be?
We're doing a bunch of weekends between now and the end of the year.
Good.
Yeah.
In addition to your solo performing act, so you'd be quite busy.
Yeah, I'm actually not doing as much solo this year. Just a conscious decision. But Grace is touring, supporting a record, and Betty Sue also tours solo and is a side player for other musicians. And she'll have a busy calendar.
It sounds so much like, it reminds me so much in the late 80s. I'm sure you're very familiar with Emmylou Harris got together with Dolly Parton, and it was just like,
and wow. Linda Ronstadt. I grew up on that record trio. Yeah. So good.
Yeah, I was like, this is just such a great idea, just combining these tour de forces together. And I think you have it on your level as well. You guys really just totally rock. What's really cool is watching some of these videos too.
Oh, yeah.
You guys do very, very well in that.
Thank you.
It seems like, I always say this, you always seem like natural actors and like, no, I don't want to go into acting. But I think some make that leap very well. Some really do. It's really neat. Yeah.
It's hard to act like yourself on camera, actually. Even at one point I got so frustrated trying, when I'm playing a show and I know there's a camera on, I get like really smiley and I stand up really straight and, it's just, I don't feel like me. So, and if I'm doing a music video where I have to like lip sync, good Lord, please, ugh, it's tough. So I have a friend who's an actor, and she owns a acting studio in New Mexico. And I was touring out there, and I asked if she'd give me some tips. So I spent 2 days with her taking acting lessons, trying to learn how to be myself on camera. And after 2 days with her, I basically concluded, wow, this is an art form that you need a lot more than 2 days to learn. Maybe I'll take some acting classes someday. And that's as far as I got with it.
It's very good now, and it seems really natural. I like Waterline's just got that really nature feel to it. You're in the river. It's just, I love it. I mean, you can't beat shooting something in the great outdoors.
Yeah, that was a fun video to make for sure.
Totally. And Tiger is another good one. Very good track.
Thank you. Yeah, we did that video because originally this record was going to come out last summer. So when the pandemic hit, we were like rolling towards an album release, and we had single dates already on the books with all of the digital service providers and publicists and stuff, and music video deadlines, and we had to figure out how to make music videos from home. And so we had a lot of fun with it, and we made the video for Tiger, just kind of chronicling each of us going through our daily routines from home. And that's how that video came together. It was really fun.
Nice. You probably just wait to get out there and get that live reaction.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. No, I'm excited. I haven't actually played a live show yet. I'm saving myself for Nobody's Girl. So yeah, when we get together in late July, it's going to be my first gigs. I'm really excited.
What kind of venues? How many seats? Is it from like basically like Eddie's Attic, and talk to that in a bit?
It varies. It varies. A lot of times we play in the Eddie's Attic of insert town name here, and there's nowhere quite like Eddie's, but usually like 150 to 200 seat venues. Some are bigger in Austin. We're doing our release show is on the lawn of the Long Center, which is a big venue downtown. And that's going to be a 500 person seated, like ticketed show. So I'm excited about that. And we're also playing at Mountain Stage in West Virginia, which is an NPR syndicated program, which I'm really excited about.
Nice. No, that's a big get.
It's a big get. Yeah. It's going to be, it's like airs on like 350 or 400 NPR stations. So that's kind of cool.
Nice.
But yeah, mostly like listening rooms, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out with what's going on with the pandemic and with social distancing. And it seems like things are going to be opening back up to capacity now that more people are getting vaccinated. And I haven't really been sweating the details of that too much because I'm just trusting in the CDC, good old Atlanta CDC, and the venues to do their research and make it, I'll make sure that everything seems safe and logical when the tour starts. And if it does, I'll go. And the venues will.
I'm queasy. I'm
yeah. If it seems dangerous, I won't. I mean, my whole mindset personally and for us as a band has always been, I don't want to do anything that's going to put our audience in danger. So I just haven't played a live show since the March of 2020 because I want to risk. I miss it.
No, doesn't it?
My favorite thing to do.
Yeah. It just seems like years ago. March 2020 now just seems, that's just 15, 16 months ago as we speak, but like years.
The before times.
Totally. I like your covers. Fast by Tracy Chapman. Wow, what a nice vibe there was to that.
Thanks. That was the first song we ever played together.
Nice. Just came out of thin air. Was it one of your favorites, all your favorites?
I think we all loved it. And basically that was before we knew we were going to be a band, and we were just planning to go on this one tour, and we wanted to record a video to put out there so that venues would know what to expect when they booked us, and so that audiences would know what to expect when we were coming to town. So we just kind of wanted to come up with a song that we all kind of knew, and Grace and I were brainstorming, and one of us suggested Fast Car, and we worked up a quick arrangement of it. Betty Sue was out of town. She was on tour, but Grace and I worked up an arrangement and sent Betty Sue a recording of us doing it. And she came completely prepared, with a great guitar part worked up and her verses memorized and a great harmony. And we recorded it. And actually that video that's out there of us doing it at a recording studio, that was filmed on some friends' iPhones. And yeah, they edited it together, so it looks really nice, but those are on like iPhone 8s or something. And that was the first time we ever sang together, because we didn't get together to rehearse beforehand. So like the first moment we sang together as a group is like captured on film, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. The technology's really saved us through all of this. If we didn't have that, I don't know, I think we all go crazy.
I think so too. I probably would have read a few more books, but
yeah, that's true. That's true. I got to read a few during this pandemic. That's true. And also doing a podcast like this, because I really like to be able to say, hey, we got some great emerging talent out there. People need to sit down. You've got time. Listen to these great voices. It's awesome. Also like your cover of Call Me. That's
oh, great. Thanks. Yeah, we love that song. Blondie is just such a hero. She's such a badass.
I've met her once. I've been here.
Debbie Harry.
She played Centennial Park. And,
cool.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Really, really strong artist. Another good one is Kim Carnes. I don't know if you've ever.
I don't know her.
Heck of a songwriter. I think she moved to Nashville years ago. She was very big with that one big single in the early 80s, but just an amazing songwriter. So just tons of talent out there. Before all of this, before Nobody's Girl, you, how did it all start? You were here in Atlanta, Georgia, growing up. How did it all begin with your parents?
Well, I was born actually in Virginia and moved to Atlanta. You don't mind if my puppy makes a cameo, do you? Moved to Atlanta when I was a kid and grew up there. And I just started playing acoustic guitar and writing terrible poetry when I was about 12. And then I realized that I could play acoustic guitar while singing my terrible poetry, and then I would be writing songs. So I started writing songs and just loved it. And when I was a teenager, my dad heard from his friends at work that there was this cool place called Eddie's Attic where there was a songwriter open mic, and that's where, all the musicians went on Monday nights to sing their songs. So Dad took me, and I just got bit by the bug, and I was so inspired by all the musicians I saw at Eddie's Attic, and I really wanted to be a musician. And then I decided to go to music school and study audio engineering, and that's what I got my degree in. I went to Berklee College of Music in Boston, got a degree in music production and engineering, and I graduated and got a job at a recording studio and worked as an audio engineer for a few years while I was getting, my first record together and starting to dip my toe into the touring world. And then once I started touring, I was really bit by the bug and just started playing shows every opportunity I possibly could.
Yeah. So how was it in Boston? I have a daughter who moved there 2 years ago and fell in love with it.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's great. Especially in the summer. It's really nice. Yeah. But it's fun. There's a great energy. It's young. A lot of things seem possible. A lot of people are working on stuff and creative and trying, and there's a real kind of sense of camaraderie because so many people there are kind of an age, and of course there's this other community of people who live there long term who are not of that age, who avoid people of that age, but I didn't know about that community then because I was in school. But yeah, I really did enjoy it. I stayed for an extra year after I graduated, and then I wanted to get back to the warmer climates.
It's funny, my daughter went the other way. She's like, I'm sick of the heat, and just fell in love with it when she did an internship up that way.
That's great.
It's just so funny how that you want something different from where you grew up, but then
so natural.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
That's hilarious. So you came back here. It's a little bit cheaper than being in the Northeast, I'm sure.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah.
Fantastic. And Eddie's Attic, for those who don't know, it's a wonderful facility. It's I love that venue, and I've spotlighted a lot of artists played there. So did you grow up near Eddie's in Decatur?
I grew up in Sandy Springs, so not far, but
not too far from where I'm at right now. That's it's good. This is a good community too, and a lot of talent came out of Georgia. Just it's really amazing. So as you went through school, you went through Berkeley. Were you just like totally like thrilled when you got into Berkeley and you were like, oh my, it's like creme de la creme?
Yeah, it was my top choice. It was my number one choice. And I applied to 7 schools, all music schools, a lot of conservatories, and the one that I really wanted to go to was Berkeley. And I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't gotten in.
Yeah, but wow, what a major success that is.
Yeah, it was fun. It was great. It was a big deal. And what I liked about their program is that it was rooted in contemporary music, and it had a really good recording program.
So you think you have a pretty good technical mind as well? Because you got the great artistic mind. Do both those things wrestle with each other in your mind?
I don't think actually that I do have a great technical mind. I have a really strong creative mind. I have a really strong business mind and kind of strategical way of thinking about the music industry, where I enjoy the challenges of the music business. Like, how am I going to make my album artwork cool to make it worthwhile for people to buy the record, things like that. Or like, should I bring 2 other singer-songwriters on tour with me and sell it as a package so we can play larger venues? Like, I like trying to find fun ways to meet the challenges of the career. The technical stuff, which is what I went to school in and what I got my degree in, does not come naturally to me, but I find it interesting. And so when I was doing it for school, I had to work really hard at it. It was like playing an instrument that didn't come naturally to me, but I really wanted to learn it anyhow.
That's good. Yeah, there's so many artists, they're like, I don't want to learn all that stuff. It's, it's about the songwriting, it's about the craft. Right. Yeah, I'm sure that's got to be incredibly challenging. It's just your right brain and your left brain, and it's just like.
Yeah, I think my right brain and my left brain are pretty evenly matched. At least that's what my therapist tells me.
See, that's with therapy. Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It is.
So going through Berkeley and getting out there, how did The Voice come along? This is the centerpiece of your life.
Sure, yeah. Well, The Voice was an interesting experience. I was invited via email from my website by one of the casting directors who had gotten my CD from a friend. And it was my record Mystery Prize that came out in 2010. And she reached out to see if I'd like to audition when the casting company was coming through Austin the next spring. And, I didn't really think it sounded like my cup of tea, but she also asked about some other friends of mine, and I didn't want to turn it down on behalf of everyone. So I agreed to go. And I think I was just really relaxed about it because it wasn't necessarily something that I desperately wanted to do. And I didn't feel like it was my only chance at having a career in music. I'd been hacking away at this for 6 or 7 years by that point. I just started making a full-time living, but I hadn't had another job in over a year. And, was working really hard on my own. I had a tour booked in Europe that spring. Like, I was feeling pretty good. So I was laid back and, very, very casual at the audition. And I think that appealed to them because I didn't seem like, oh God, I hope you pick me. It's my only chance to make it in the music industry. So they invited me for a callback, and the callback went well. And then they invited me to come to LA. And next thing you know, I got cast on the show. And it was an interesting experience. It lasted about 6 weeks. I was on 2 episodes. I got sent home at the battle rounds. I, got to hear 2 celebrities fight for the chance to work with me. Adam Levine and Christina Aguilera were, kind of going at each other, fighting over little old me. It was a real weird head shift going from being like a, kind of like obscure nobody on stage, just hoping that I didn't pass out while trying to sing this song because it was so nerve-wracking and being so intimidated by the whole surrounding, and then having these 2 celebrities fighting over the chance to work with me. And I'm, now I'm choosing, and I'm like, well, Adam Levine, what have you done for me lately? It was just a strange experience all the way around. And it taught me a lot of really important lessons. I think it taught me a big lesson about the difference between the mainstream pop entertainment industry and the small stream acoustic touring singer-songwriter industry, which is definitely more what I want to be doing with my life. I want to make a living connecting with audiences who enjoy hearing original music on stage, you know? And I like an intimate setting, and I like that direct connection. And so as soon as I got released from the show, I was just so excited to get back out on the road and do what it feels like is my purpose, my thing in the world, my mission. So every show I've played since then has been really fun, because the experience of being on The Voice was so scary that everything since then has just felt like a real gift.
That sounds like a really great training ground, even though, you know, it's like, oh, this is reality TV. I got to be in a competition. You know, how could they quantify all this? So that's got to be really, really good. And then having huge professionals like Adam Levine being your advisor. I mean, better school is there than that. Great performer. Gosh, the energy he has still to this day.
Oh my gosh, it's so true. Yeah.
It's gonna be great if he's coming to Music Midtown. It's just
cool. Is Music Midtown back?
Yes, it is back. It is back.
Love that. I grew up, you know, in Atlanta and listening to 99X in the 90s and going to Music Midtown and Big Day Out and all that stuff. Do you remember Big Day Out?
Oh yes.
It was the September festival.
Oh yeah, when they had the festival at that time, and went to some Music Midtowns back then. They had George Clinton at one of them, and
I was at that one. Yeah.
You were at that?
Yeah, George Clinton and P-Funk. Yeah.
I was there.
I was in 8th grade.
8th grade. Wow, you must have been a blast.
That was fun.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend whose mom like took us and told all the other moms that she'd like watch us, but then she'd just like let us go off and do our thing, and then we'd meet up with her later. It was nice.
Great times. Yeah, it's back, and Maroon 5 headlines, Miley Cyrus, and it's a huge
fun. That's great. Is it still in the spring?
They are this year. I'm forgetting the dates that we're doing that now. Yeah, it's coming soon.
I lived in Midtown briefly after Boston. I didn't get to that part, but I went on tour. Started touring in 2004 after I graduated from college, and then by 2006 I was like, I want this to be my full-time job. So I gave up my apartment in Boston and moved into my car and started touring. But after about a year of that, I was like, I want to have an apartment and not feel like a crazy vagrant. So my best friend from school had just bought a house in Midtown, right down the street from like Piedmont Park, and I lived there for about 2-3 years. I mean, kind of on and off because I was touring a lot, but it was my home base when I was traveling. And the night that I was on The Voice, that's where I watched the show. Was with all my friends at that house in Midtown. There were like 40 people crammed into it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing it in mid-September now. And
cool.
Yeah. DaBaby's going to be there. It's just going to be massive.
That sounds so fun.
And some of the older people are like, oh, they're not catering enough to our crowd. Well, you know, the boomers are not coming out as much. Bob Dylan played one of them, and Joan Baez going way back. So
yeah.
Won't have those kind of acts this year, but it sounds really exciting. So I'm glad that's back.
I'm glad it's back. That was a really, really great time.
Yeah, and seeing the Black Crowes there too. I remember seeing.
Cool.
It's really awesome. So going on through your solo career, you have a nice catalog now because you've been active for quite some time. This is really some good stuff. What is one of your favorite albums that you've put together?
Well, of course, the Nobody's Girl record that's coming out in July.
Newest one.
But also, you know, for me, I think my last 2 solo albums are my favorite of mine. They're the ones that feel the most like me. My record Blink, production-wise and songwriting-wise, I really kind of started figuring out what it is I wanted to say. And with Give Up Your Ghost, and that record actually led to me getting a record deal with a different label in Texas called Blue Corn Music. And I was just writing so much. I was so inspired around that time that I had songs for another record. And I went straight back into the studio and recorded Give Up Your Ghost with the exact same band like 2 years later. And it's it's a little different because the songs are different. It's some of them are a little poppier. Some of them are a little crisper. There's also more emphasis on like sort of healing and letting go of the things that are holding us back, which is what Give Up Your Ghosts means to me. That's what the title means.
Very deep. Yeah. That's very nice. Yeah. Oh, what a catalog. What is your songwriting process like? How do you get inspired? Because you put out a nice amount so far.
My songwriting process is tortured and neurotic. Usually starts with like a quick, like some idea, like a scrap of a lyric and a melody will float through my head, and then I will um, try and chase that down and be like, oh, what song is that line in? It's kind of like an algebra problem. Like that line plus X equals finished song. Solve for X, and then you have a song. So, yeah, I will generally start with a little clip um, of lyrics and melody together, and then I'll write out as many lyrics as I can, and then I'll go back and add melody and guitar.
Awesome. You have like a before stage ritual you go through before you start performing live?
I wish, not really. I mean, I'd like to have a little bit of alone time where I like kind of meditate and center myself and, warm up my voice properly, and eat dinner. And if I can do one of those three things when I'm on the road, I'm pretty lucky. But that's what I try. It's like dinner, stretch, vocal warm-ups, meditate would be great, but it doesn't always happen.
Yeah. Some people just
certainly not when I'm playing online.
Yeah, online, totally different thing, I'm sure. But yeah, that must be a lot of fun. So Ghosts is a really, that's pretty deep. I really love the video to that one as well. That's just really, really nicely done. Who directed that? That's very well edited as well.
The video for Give Up Your Ghosts?
Yeah.
For the song Ghosts, I mean, or the song Ghosts. Oh God, it was just on the tip of my tongue. It was 3 years ago that we made it, so I'm spacing on the director's name, but he's a sweetheart of a guy. Yellow House Company or something. I can find this out for you though.
Yeah, I love it. I just, the different scenery in there, and Kid with the ice cream cone. I love that. It's my favorite part there. It's really well.
That was actually the director's kid, Curtis. That's his name. I didn't even. It's so funny now that I was talking about it. I didn't have to. Yeah.
And now 3 years later, gosh, it's amazing how much they change.
And that was his. His kid's first bite of ice cream was in the video.
Very natural. Just that's a very striking moment in that video.
Yeah, it was really fun. Curtis Pollock is the director's name.
Yeah, got to give him a shout out. That's just
yeah, he did a great job.
Love that. So going back to the voice, what made you pick Come As You Are? That's just, and I love the arrangement you do on that too. It reminds me when Tori Amos used to cover.
Yeah, they didn't really. They gave us a list of songs that were pre-cleared for legal and creative reasons, and it was a long list, and they asked us to pick which of those songs we might be interested in performing and to rank them in some sort of order. And I put Come As You Are kind of close to the top of the list, not at the top, but it was like I'd heard it and I liked the song. And I think that they thought it was interesting that I'd ranked it so close to the top, so they wanted to hear what I would do with it. So they asked me to work it up, so I did, and that's how it became my audition song.
Yeah, it so reminds me when Tori Amos used to cover.
Yeah, I loved that cover she did of Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Saw her when she played Symphony Hall over here.
Cool.
Yeah, those acoustics were just so amazing.
Yeah, I saw her at Chastain on my 16th birthday.
Wow, nice. You started seeing shows really young then. So who else inspired you growing up when you were really little?
Well, I listened to a lot of like oldies stuff. In fact, one of my very first concerts was the Everly Brothers, also at Chastain. I listened to a lot of like 50s and 60s girl groups, like doo-wop, like the Shangri-Las and things like that. And then, I got really heavy into the singer-songwriter scene of the 90s. I love Sheryl Crow, Alanis Morissette, Ani DeFranco, like all of those, singer-songwriters who did such great work in the 90s, and the whole Lilith Fair scene and Sarah McLachlan, and I'm trying to think, there's so many other people that all really moved me quite a bit. And then when I got to college, I sort of started backfilling and got more into like the 70s, like Laurel Canyon singer-songwriters, like Joni Mitchell, Carole King, James Taylor, Randy Newman is one of my all-time favorite writers.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of the broad swath of it.
saw Sheryl Crow. She played here at the Olympics.
Cool.
Played at Underground.
That's amazing. Yeah, I saw her at Chastain as well on the Tuesday Night Music Club. We've been to a lot of the same shows or same people. That's awesome. Yeah, on the Tuesday Night Music Club tour, my best friend's dad took us. It was really fun. I was in 6th grade for that. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, you have so many memories. Just
Great shows, great music.
Yeah, and all these people who have inspired you. It's just, and it shows, obviously. When did you first learn, like, I could really sing? Was that like really young? And obviously your parents encouraged you.
I mean, I just really enjoyed it and I was always doing it. And then when I was 6 years old, my summer camp was having a talent show and I signed up and sang this song from The Little Mermaid, Part of Your World, by myself. And I remember everyone got really quiet. I have no idea. I mean, there's no video of it. I have no idea if I was actually good, but everyone treated me like I was really good. And after the talent show at lunch, I was invited to sit with the 5th graders, which as a 6-year-old is a pretty big deal. So then I was like, this singing thing, this is kind of cool. I like this. That was my first taste of it.
Yeah, I'm sure they give you a lot of encouragement going forward. Yeah, definitely. Oh, sweet. Well, it's been fantastic speaking with you this evening. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for inviting me to do this. I really appreciate it.
And best of luck with Nobody's Girl. Great trio. I spoke with Grace.
Oh, yeah.
She released her solo album, most recent one. And just
it's a great record.
Yeah, isn't it? Working Woman. Just very inspirational as well. Well, best of luck on the tour.
Thank you.
The latest recording. It's just the hope.
Well, we're hoping to get to Atlanta before the end of the year. So if we do, we'll make sure to let you know.
Yeah, let me know. Hopefully you'll be at Eddie's again. It's
We'd love that.
Great venue. But I really appreciate it.
Thanks. I appreciate you so much too. I will see you down the road, I hope.
Absolutely. Take care.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.